Hi, hello, I'm Wyatt. As you can see, I changed my name here too. Just a quick rebranding I'm doing everywhere, though I can't promise the content will get any better. Anyways, I drew overly sarcastic productions in the style of Hades, you know, the game. So, I don't know if you can tell by the everything about me, but I've always been quite a big fan of mythologies, especially the Greek one, though Norse ones I also cool, and well, all of them actually. I mean, I've always been a fan, or at least since my mom started playing audiobooks of different myths on my ride to kindergarten when I was like 3 or 4 or something like that. Anyways, that's a complicated way of saying I really enjoy watching overly sarcastic productions here on YouTube, and they even got me a bit into history as well, which quite honestly is really surprising. I didn't expect that to happen ever. If you don't know who OSP is, first of all, what are you doing with your life? Second of all, here's some basic info, though I really recommend checking them out for yourself if you haven't done so already. They're really cool. Anyways, OSP is a 2-person channel focused mostly on history, myths, classical literature, and sometimes more modern media. They basically make quick, abbreviated retellings of different historical events or stories and stuff like that. And I've enjoyed them since I think middle school, like at least 3 years now. They also stream sometimes, and that's always good when you're like me and are always in need of a constant background noise. So, well, like last week I was rewatching the playthrough of Hades and I got struck with the sudden urge to draw red and blue's avatars reimagined in the style of, well, Hades, which is also a game I quite enjoyed playing for the last half a year or something. It's really good. I also recommend checking it out. Though I don't want to make this voiceover too long, but there's a few design choices I wanted to point out, both in the redesigns and also the art style. Just before I start talking about other stuff, I wanted to say I kept the facial features more akin to my own art style, since doing line art is already not my favorite thing, and having to learn a new way to draw faces was just a bit too much for me today. I just did not feel like it. So I wanted to quickly run through some design choices, since I think those are more interesting, and later on I would quickly do a short run through of how I achieved this art style. So if you want that, wait, it will come later in the video. Okay, so obviously, like, the big first step I always recommend doing is gathering references, especially when you're doing designs. And while I was doing so, I remembered Red's Halloween sprite and decided to include bits of it here, which meant giving her some horns and the feather cape she wears in her Halloween specials. Also, since her avatar wears a tank top, I obviously felt I should keep her sleeveless, like, you know, tank top adjacent, even though I was doing a more Greek-inspired outfit. Also, since she does the drawings for the channel, I wanted to give her a tablet pen, but since, so, you know, again, Greek mythology, I decided aqua would be more adequate. And because of all the space pictures you can find on the Instagram, I decided to give her the ability to like create stars, constellations, that kind of stuff. You know, since Hades is all about gods with different magical abilities, I thought giving them some kind of like magic stuff would also be fun and keeping with the redesigns. Yeah, so I think those are all the major design choices I made for red, even though you can find smaller things if you look closely. And while when I was deciding what I wanted blue to look like, I knew one thing and one thing only. I wanted to include Cleo, his cat. So obviously the most obvious choice was to draw her as a giant spirit cat, clearly, you know. Well, at least that was a fun idea until I realized I haven't somehow magically learned how to draw cats since the last time I tried. So I just kind of traced a photo of actual Cleo from, again, their Instagram. I also made blue hold the Duomo, because I mean it's too iconic not to include, obviously. Also, I gave both red and blue the bits of each other's color because they do be a theme and I just like color symbolism sometimes. But I think with that being said, those are all the biggest, like most important thoughts I had while making these designs. So before I finish, I wanted to do a quick run through of how I like kind of my thought process with these, since it's a bit different than my usual drawing style. Obviously you don't have to, if like you want a Hades-esque style, you don't have to follow these directly, they're just kind of what I did. So first of all, line art, don't worry about the big black spots for now. Use little to no pen pressure and add some additional lines here and there, like I did around the arms, for examples like muscles and that kind of stuff. Then you get into the black blobs, just the deep dark shading. If you're smart about it, unlike me, you have an established light source and kept most of and if you have an established light source, you should keep most of the black areas on the opposite side of said light source. I didn't do that because I was lazy, to put it simply. Then you get to the flat colors. Go wild. There's no specific color scheme for the Hades game, so anything works, though if you're a bit stuck, I recommend looking at pictures of the sprites in the game. Next step is shading, obviously. I used 2 layers on multiply mode for it. The first one was just big overall shadows, kind of just everywhere. I lowered the opacity a bit, and for additional flare, you can make the edges a warmer or softer tone. I think it looks quite nice actually. And the second one is darker and you use it more sparingly in like places that you would almost place the black blobs but not really. That's a good place to place the other shadow. It's almost 11 p.m. Please give me a break. I've been at this since like 8 p.m. I am tired. So yeah, then you go to the quick simple highlights. Just use a soft color on an overlay layer. I used 1 color for red and then 2 for blue because I thought it would look cooler. And then the last part, which is I think the coolest one, is you get to the neons. First I added a rim lighting to the characters. I used neon pink for red and like a lime color for blue because it just fit with the overall themes of the drawings. And then the thing that really makes it look like Hades, I think, is you choose a few random neon colors and add the little specks of color on top of the black like areas. Like you can see in the actual game, like little speckles, it really pulls everything together. And that's like the magical step that makes it look like Hades, at least in my opinion. And with that being said, I think this will be the end of the voiceover. There's still a few more minutes of time-lapse to go through. If you enjoy my art and want to support me, go check out my Instagram or Twitter. Links are both in the card, linked below. Liking and subscribing would also help me out greatly. Thank you very much for all the support. It's absolutely wonderful, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!